I definitely think that you should apply this year. I think the MCAT score is gonna dictate a little bit about that. Well, hello, Yusuf. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing, Dr. Scott?
I'm doing really well. Where are you calling us from?
So I'm in Orlando, Florida right now.
Okay. Is that where you're from? You from Florida originally?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good, good. And you're in Orlando now. Are you a student currently, or
Yes,
you
I
just
am. I'm a
graduated?
student at UCF. This is my last semester.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
graduating this semester, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations. What is your
Thank you.
major?
My major is Health Services Administration, and my minor is biology.
Okay, awesome. So
Mhm.
you're getting the whole picture there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, we're going to spend some time today looking at your mapped account and looking at all the, everything about you relevant to the admissions process, and hopefully we'll make some decisions about whether or not I think you're ready to apply this year, and then we'll move forward with that. Does that sound good?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks. So we'll look here at the first thing we're going to look at on your mapped account is the GPA graph. And what we see here is a notably, it's sort of a two-part graph is the way I kind of look at it. We see your cumulative GPA as a 3.48, just under a 3.5, and your science GPA is a 3.51. But when I say that we see kind of a dual picture here, is that you've got kind of a downward trend on the first half from fall 15, looks like up until spring 18 or so. And then the second half of the graph looks radically different, an upward trend. Is that am I sort of stating that correctly?
Yes, I believe you are, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you talk a little bit about that for us? Walk us through, kind of what was going on that first half of your college career, and then what happened, and what has precipitated this difference.
Yes, definitely. So I started college at community college, state college.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so classes were obviously very small there. There was like 20, 25 students per class. And so there was much more direct interaction with the professors, a lot of engagement in class. And then when I transferred to UCF, class sizes were obviously like 200, 300 per class. And so then I had to manage going to office hours, finding time to go to office hours, going to the tutoring center, etc. Before that was offered in class, now I had to myself go and pursue those supplemental instruction opportunities. And so eventually I did, and that's how I saw a huge improvement in my GPA.
Great. Well, yeah, I mean, if we looked at a GPA for your last, 60 hours or so, it'd be a radically different GPA is my estimation. So you've done what you needed to do in terms of figuring it out and figuring out what it takes to be successful in the classroom, and you're exactly right. Sometimes that means going to office hours of the professor or the graduate TA or whatever. And other times it means seeking supplemental instruction aid or tutoring or whatever. And, you take advantage of the resources that are available to you at your institution. And often that makes a huge difference in terms of your ability to have performed well. So, good job in figuring that out and in finishing strong in your college stay. So that's wonderful. Great work there. Awesome. So let's go now down on the dashboard all the way to the bottom to look at your MCATs. We'll look at the numbers first, and then we'll evaluate. So all the way down to the bottom. Good. And so what we have here is a list of your MCAT dates and stuff. It starts January 21. There's a couple of dates in February, and then March the 6th. Now, are all of these practice exams?
Yes.
Or Okay.
Yeah, they're practice exams. Yeah.
Okay, good. And what are you doing to study for your MCAT? Are you taking a course, or are you doing it on your own? Or tell me a little bit about that.
I am taking a course. I'm using Blueprint. I'm using Khan Academy
Mm-hmm.
and other resources as well. I found a definitely huge improvement in that. There's still some minor mistakes I keep making in these sections, and
Mm-hmm.
like if I just stop making those mistakes, I'll probably get a 510. Like just looking
Yeah.
at those mistakes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. And so, what is your target date for taking the real exam?
It is in April. It's April 10th.
Okay. So coming up pretty
It's
quick.
coming up. I may push it. I'm not sure yet. I'll see.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
mhm.
So, but your plan is to take it sometime in the next, couple of months or so. Either
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. And so what we see is a trend line, which is the red dotted line there. We see a trend line there, which is actually, kind of pretty flat. So it seems like, do you think that you're averaging right now in terms of these practice tests around the 500, 502 mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. And what is your what do you feel like your target score is?
I feel like if I get a 505, I would apply with a 505. If it was
Okay.
like a standard distribution across a good
Mm-hmm.
distribution, I would apply with a 505. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Yeah, I think definitely that's that's a mark that you can hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. If you told me your target score was a 515, I would be a little worried.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not, but 505 I think sounds realistic to me, and definitely preparation, and I certainly think maybe pushing that exam back a little bit might be warranted, just to give you more time with practice tests, and give you more time getting used to the way they ask questions, the passages, and how you answer those passages, and stuff like that. Just the more comfort you can get with those things, that often the better you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, the taking of practice tests is often valuable because you're developing a mental stamina. Because as you know, it's kind of a brutal exam because it's so long, and it's tiring. So you have to have really built up that ability to sit and focus for a good long period of time, and
Mm-hmm.
not get distracted or not get too exhausted mentally. So yeah, the more practice tests, the better. And so keep up the good work there. Absolutely. Good. So let's scroll up now to your activities.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And let's look at these. So looks like we've been a biochem tutor at your, I guess that's at UCF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you must have done pretty well in biochem. So that's good. And then we have, oh, you like gardening. I'm a bit of a gardener myself, so I like that a lot. That's awesome. So you've done an undergrad now you in the honors program at UCF?
So I'm not in the honors college, but I have like admission into the honors college because of the thesis that I did.
Oh, okay.
So it is an honors undergraduate thesis, and I got honors distinction for that. And that's what
Okay.
the Burnett Honors Scholar Award is for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's awesome. I actually know the dean of the honors college at
Oh
UCF,
yeah. Okay.
Dr. Pinheiro. As we go back
Mm-hmm.
many years back to Dallas, when she was at the University of Texas at Dallas, we worked together, and so I've known her for many years. But anyway, and then we have community service at a food pantry that you've got quite a few hours, and that looks like that's a continuing effort. Is that right?
It is. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Is that something you really enjoy?
I do enjoy doing it. It's not just food pantry. I put food pantry and community outreach because there's
Uh-huh.
also like fundraising events for women shelters for those who had like domestic violence abuse. There's also backpack drives, back to school drives, giving school supplies to children. There's Thanksgiving drives, etc. So there's a number of things. That's why I put community outreach, and I do enjoy it. I like it a lot.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's good. Good. Then we've got some employment there. Looks like a business oriented employment. That looks like you're. Are you still doing that or no?
I'm not. That was just part. Only for 2 months they had us do that. So they need to recruit a number of people for a short period of time to do the business development, reach out to different organizations, and propose to them different models for them to improve their fundraising capabilities.
Okay, got you. It sounds like you're pretty good at fundraising. This is the second time you've brought that up. So you're pretty good at asking for money, huh? Nothing wrong with that.
No, that's okay.
Life Center. Tell me a little bit about Life Care Center of Orlando.
Yes. So I was volunteering there at the nursing home, and there was a number of things that we were doing. One of them was obviously interacting with some of the residents there and putting lotion on their hands and doing other things like that, wheeling them around, etc. Serving them food. So I guess it could be considered clinical experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, I do have it at 20 hours. I did want it to do it more, but what happened was that a family member of mine works there. And unfortunately, there was a disagreement between him and the administrator of the nursing home. And so I felt a little bit weird staying there volunteering. And so then I had to cut it short. Now, it was an impactful experience for me. It's a part of my journey to medicine. And so I want to put it on my application.
Oh, sure.
But should I bring that up if admissions committees, they ask me, well, why was it only 20 hours or anything like that?
No, I mean, you could just say, I don't think you need to go into any vast detail. If it came up in an interview, you could say, yeah, there was just some, several things that were going on that didn't, foster me remaining there as a volunteer, but it was sort of unrelated to you and the work you were doing. It was kind of tangential to that. So you could just, say it like that. I wouldn't go and feel like you needed to go into any large degree of detail or anything on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look further at that. What we see is, so you have the nursing home that you were working at, and then you've been an MA?
Yes, I was a medical assistant, and that was a volunteering position. It wasn't a job, but I was doing everything that a medical assistant would do. So I was doing vitals for patients. I was checking them in. I was taking their chart, giving it to the physician, setting them up appointments, basically everything a medical assistant would do, yes.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. And you did that. Now, did that end because of COVID or just?
It didn't end because of COVID. Unfortunately, what happened was they didn't really need me volunteering anymore because they did hire a number of medical assistants for paid employment. And it's not a very, the clinic itself doesn't have a large patient cohort. And so eventually they didn't really need me anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Scribing.
Scribing, I'm planning to do that. I didn't get to do that yet.
Okay, great. So then you've done more tutoring. Sounds like you're really into teaching and mentoring.
I do like teaching, and teaching in medicine is definitely something I would be interested in as well. Yeah,
good. So that's a good amount of hours, 400 hours in teaching, tutoring, as a TA, I guess, and so that's wonderful, excellent. It's particularly good that it highlights for you something that you're interested in. So that's fantastic. Good. Yeah, let's go into page 2 there. And okay, so we have a lot of shadowing here. Primary care, oncology, endocrinology.
So the oncology and the GI, that's going to be starting this month. But the others, the endocrinology, infectious disease, pulmonary hypertension, unfortunately, these were only 3 because of COVID.
Right.
And so that was in the hospital. They had to cut that short. The hospitals are difficult to shadow in.
Oh,
but
sure.
the private practice, I'm continuing because that's up to the discretion of the physician. So it's easier to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like it that that's a primary care setting. That's fantastic. And the Dr. Schamberger's a DO?
Yes, he's a DO.
Yeah, good. Great. Yeah, that's and is the shadowing that you're doing, does that really excite you?
It does, definitely. I like the infectious disease the most. I like the
Oh,
patient
really?
interaction. Yeah. I like primary care. So the patient interaction, primary care is really nice. But then I like the science behind the infectious disease.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Particularly these days during the pandemic, I'm sure infectious disease is a hot group to be in, because they're dealing with not only all the other infectious diseases that they typically deal with, but they're also dealing with COVID. Yeah, that's interesting. Good. Well, good collection of shadowing things there. So that's awesome that and the fact that it continues to motivate you toward a career in medicine is obviously one of the points of doing it, is motivation, but also making sure that you kind of know all the ins and outs. I like it that you're doing a variety of different kinds of people, so that's awesome. Very cool. Great. Let's go over now to the med schools tab toward the bottom, and kind of look at the schools that you're thinking about applying to. Now, you're an official resident of Florida, I take it.
Yes, sir. I'm a resident of Florida.
And so I'm assuming that you're going to be applying to a lot of the schools in Florida. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. My recommendation would always be, as a resident of the state, apply to every school in Florida. Just just make that a both MD. It looks like you're applying both MD and DO.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And some of these that are out of state, they're the private ones. So we had a couple of like deans of admissions come to our school, and assistant deans of admissions, and I really like their school. Like Burrell was really nice. I like their mission statement that they specifically serve immigrant populations. That's a part of their mission statement. And so I had some experience with immigrant populations and refugees. So I like that about them. So I added that there.
Yeah.
Some other ones as well. I have family in New York, a lot of family in New York. So I was thinking of doing that as well.
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Wake Forest was nice too. The assistant dean of admissions came to our school.
Oh yeah, and you liked.
I did. I liked their program. I liked their campus and their mission statement and their community outreach, etc. It was nice.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. I've been to Winston-Salem before. It's a beautiful place, and so it's really, that part of North Carolina is really nice. Great. Well, it looks to me like you're choosing a good mixture of schools, particularly schools that you're really interested in because of who they are, what they focus on, what their mission is, their values, whatever, but also the more sort of the geography of things, such as the New York schools, because of that you have family there, and having a support network is often very important, and so that's wonderful. Yeah, good job. Great. Well, let's go back to the dashboard, and let me give you some thoughts that I have. I think that your overall GPA is still a strong GPA. It's a good, I think a 3.5, basically a 3.5 GPA, both science and non-science, really shows that you are a strong student in the classroom. As I said earlier, if we looked at your last, 60 hours or so, it would even be a more notable GPA. It would be a GPA that would be higher than a 3.5. And schools are going to look at trends. They're going to look at, depending on the particular institution and what they want to look at, they'll look at these, sometimes the last 60 hours to see, what has Yusuf done while he's, when he's in the hardest of the classes, the last junior, senior, that's when you're taking the hard, the upper level hard classes. And so that's what, what they're really wanting to see, that sort of stuff. So that's very good. Yeah, and so I think the big question for you right now is obviously the MCAT and
Mhm.
taking advantage of examining where you can make a difference on the MCAT. I think having a goal set of 505 is a good goal. I like it that you're applying to a variety of different schools, both MD and DO, and sounds like was it Schamberger?
Dr. Shepard, yes.
Yeah. Will you be able to get a letter out of?
Yes, he offered that he would write me a letter. Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So that's really going to open the door to a lot of the DO schools that want to see a letter from a DO. So that's fantastic. So I think that I definitely think that you should apply this year. I think the MCAT score is going to dictate a little bit about that. I would encourage you to go ahead and push that date back a little bit of the MCAT. The April 10, that really is giving you less than 2 weeks to
Yeah.
prepare. And I'd go ahead and push it back, maybe not too far, but maybe into May or even June would be acceptable. And because the admissions committee is really for the new admissions cycle, they're not really going to start looking at applications and stuff until in any significant way until July or August. So you want to have everything done and in by, certainly the end of July, early August, before you, so that you get the advantage of that early part. So I definitely think that it looks to me like you're ready to go. You know what you need to do. You need to prepare for the MCAT, do a lot of practice tests, remain doing a lot of practice tests. But I wouldn't want you to wait. I think depending on that score, but it's going to dictate obviously a little bit. But looks like you've got a good amount of clinical contact and shadowing that you're participating in, and that's good. You patient contact, and so I think it looks to me like you should go right ahead and apply. So the big question the big answer to the question, am I ready, is I think you're pretty ready. So I'd go for it. Yeah. I'd definitely go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Any questions or concerns that you've had that I can address for you now that maybe we haven't talked about?
Yeah, so you did touch on the applying before June, July time. So that was my concern. I didn't want to push the MCAT back too far and then apply too late, because I know that it's a lot of these rolling admissions and your chances of getting accepted you're diminished significantly the later you apply.
Right.
So how late? Like if I took an MCAT May, would that be too late?
No, not
End
at
of
all.
May?
I would say end of May or even into June should be totally acceptable. I would encourage you, once the application's open, both AMCAS and ACOMAS, go ahead and fill them out, complete them, get them submitted, so that all the schools are waiting for is your MCAT score to come in. And if you have a complete package, including MCAT score, by sometime toward the end of June, even into early to mid-July, I think you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on Am I Ready today. I hope it's been helpful for you.
It's been really good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll definitely keep in touch with us.
Thank you. Have a good day.